Are you ready? We are live on the mic with our host DJ Deuce and Bamboo Bam. Bam. Let's get this show started.
Yo, what's up? I'm DJ Deuce. My man next to me is Bamboo Bam. What's up, Bam?
What up, bro? What you saying, kid?
You know what? It's been one hell of a hot weekend, bro.
Man, I'm dying right now.
You too?
So it's still hot over here, man. It's
Yeah, I
over
know.
30. It's over 30, man.
You know, when I talk to my dad, he's like, the humidity, it's 40. And he's very bitter about it. But I had to learn to pick one or the other, the cold or the hot. And I'm picking hot, and I'm trying not to bitch about it, right? So
I'd rather
fuck
the
that.
cold. You know I'd rather the cold.
Why? Like, you just, whatever. That's why you and I don't even know why we're friends sometimes. Anyways, we have two special guests here today.
Right.
With us. They're experts, or pretty much are a lot more experts than we are at traveling. And I wanted to talk to them about this. You know, let's get them on. Let's not make them wait.
Yes.
Emily and Nina, how you guys doing, girls?
Hi. Hello. Sorry.
We're
ready.
Oh my, we're traveling already, Bam. What the hell's going on?
Boom. There you
Damn, man. I just finished my bottle of water. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I should have prepared myself.
What podcast is this? I'm out.
go. Uh-oh.
You know what? You're absolutely right. This is the old man podcast. We just woke up from a nap, you know. No, we you know, it's funny that, you know, because Nina's on Instagram, and that's how we're talking, and she's pulling all these traveling stuff, and it's super dope. So I was like telling her earlier, I'm like, yo, you got to get you on here, and she's like, you can get my friend Emily on here, and I'm like, yeah, let's do this, you know. So I'm really happy you guys took the time to get on the podcast.
Yes, thank you.
For the people I don't know, Emily and Nina, like, can you tell me a bit about yourselves?
Of course. Hi, everyone. So my name's Emily, and I lived in Ottawa for quite a while now. And I worked in healthcare for 17 years, and I was an event decorator. And then I switched into, I'm a sex and relationship coach. But then I decided that I needed another job. So my passion is traveling. So I'm now a flight attendant and loving it.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And yourself, Nina?
Hi, I'm Nina. Born and raised in Montreal, moved to Ottawa, when I was 13. So Ottawa's pretty much home. And travel has been a big part of my life since a very young age. So it was just like a natural transition for me to get into the travel industry at a very young age. Became a travel agent. I worked as a destination representative, lived in Mexico for many years.
That's
it
great.
was a big part of my life. But now what I do is I work for the government, and I give a lot of travel advice on the side.
We all need travel advice. Trust me. We all do.
Definitely.
We all need travel advice.
Always do.
Travel tips, travel hacks.
But I want to know, girls, so what was like your first trip? What was the first attraction for you to be like, oh my God, I love traveling?
Well, my dad was in the military, so I moved a lot. I moved like 19 times. So moved across Canada, here and there. My dad's in the secret army. So we had to like legit pack our stuff at any given time and move. Mm-hmm. So it's always been in me to just, you know, explore and go to different places. So my first trips were all within Canada. And then on my own, I did a road trip. I drove to Myrtle Beach, and then from there I went to Cuba and Jamaica and Cuba. And
I love it.
Germany. And now being a flight attendant, I get to go a couple more places.
That is crazy.
Nice.
Nina, yourself.
So my mother would tell me all of these amazing travel stories. She traveled quite a bit when she was young, when she lived at home with her parents. And so I felt like I was living vicariously through her, just growing up. And like, this is something I want to do. Like, I want to see the world. I wanted to see the world so badly that I would like beg my parents, let's go somewhere. So where would they take us? They would take us to Plattsburgh, Lake George, all these places that were like, this isn't Switzerland. Like, I want to see the world, right?
Yeah.
My first trip actually was when I was 18. I was working at a gym with a girlfriend of mine who became fast friends. And she's like, hey, it's March break. Want to go to Cancun? I'm like, yeah, I want to go to Cancun. Let's do this.
Uh-oh.
A very interesting story. Not at all what you're probably thinking. It was like kind of like a trip from hell. Right?
No way.
Oh yeah. But still an unforgettable and an unbelievable experience. I remember the day we were leaving, I didn't want to leave. I remember sitting on the beach, and I was looking at the water, and I was like, I don't want to leave. Like, what if I don't get on that plane? Like, I'm not going to get on the plane. I'm just going to stay here, and I'm going to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, fast forward a few years later, I ended up moving to Mexico and working in Mexico.
I want to get to that. I want to get to that.
Yeah.
Bam, what about you? Bam, what was your first trip?
Costa Rica.
Oh, when was that?
Oh man, when I had my first daughter, I took her down. Her mother was
Oh,
Costa
really?
Rican. Yeah, I was down there for 2 weeks, and I was in San Juan, I think San Juan, San Jose, up there for a couple of days, and then I went down to Limon, next to Panama, and it was over, bro.
Wow.
It was over. You know,
Interesting.
along the beach, all her family owns houses, so I didn't see my kid for like 2 days. I was like, "Where's the kid?" You know, it's like I was too busy on a hammock eating fish and drinking. I was smashed. You know.
So is she still there?
No. She's grown in Virginia doing her thing.
I'm kidding, bro. No, see, my first trip was in Puerto Plata in Dominican, and I remember just telling Jesse, like, I never traveled. He's traveled before, and I was like, yo, pick a place. Here's my passport, and tell me how much I owe you. Like, I just put it all in his hands, right?
Right.
He calls me back. He's like, it's $1,400. I transfer him the money. To the point where, like, when I was at the airport, I was like, where the fuck we going? Like, I had no idea where we were going, right? He's like, we're going to Dominican. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So we land, and it was late at night, and I remember getting out of the airport, and the heat that hit me,
Yeah.
I start to get paranoid. Like, I was like, oh my God, it's so hot.
I'm
Oh my
having
God.
heat stroke.
Like
Having heat stroke.
I'm having heat stroke at 10 p.m. This didn't make any sense. There's no sun out there, right? So
Yeah.
like I'm getting on the bus and I'm getting mad at them. I'm like, yo, put the AC on. Like I'm starting to panic. And all I'm thinking is because I've never traveled anywhere, I keep thinking that I'm going to go to a hotel with doors that open and the AC is going to kick in and so I get there and the lobby's open outside still, and I'm like, fuck my life, you know what I mean? Like, and this lady handed me a cold drink. Like, she saw the fear in my face, and all I kept thinking is, what about tomorrow at 2 p.m. when the sun's out bright? Am I going to be able to handle this, right? So the first initial thing was like, it killed me. Like, I got on panic mode. Don't get me wrong, I adapted extremely quick, but I was starting to think it was a mistake. Like, I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever done.
What did I sign up for, right? Like, what?
Exactly. Don't get me wrong. That whole night felt like it was a mistake. Like even to the point where like, so we showed up around 10, probably checked in around 10:30 or so. When we went to a nightclub, there was, they all have their own little discos, but then there was this other one in the casino, right? The casino, right? We can go in and I see the lighting and me being a DJ, like I got this cool lights. I'm like, I want to check this out. And I went in there, and when I got a drink, I didn't know there was 400 prostitutes in this bar lining up. And you're just like, oh my God. And I've never been anywhere. This was like 2 hours on the island. And I'm like, how do I get out of here? Like, it's just one of those like, holy shit, you just have to shove them out of the way and get out. The cool thing is where you get out, they can't follow you, right? Because that's where the resort exit is, right? So when we bumped into some people, I'm like, yo, that nightclub has a bunch of prostitutes. And they're like, you're very funny. And I was like, but it's true. Like, it was like, but that's what, so for the first 2 hours of my life, the heat's killing me. There's 1,000 prostitutes at this bar. And I'm like, where am I? Like, why did I leave like all the power in my buddy's hands to book this trip, But don't get me wrong. After that, when I stayed on the resort and everything else, it was an amazing situation, amazing feeling, to the point where it became addicting. It became a 1 thing a year to like a 2 thing a year, right? Like,
Yeah, pretty much.
and don't get me wrong, COVID fucked up that routine a little bit, but
time.
it is what it is, right? So, guys.
Yeah.
So you two traveled, obviously, probably more than me and Bam put together. Where were some of the best places that you've traveled?
It's hard to say because every place that I go, there's a story or there's an adventure or something, and it's with the people that you're with.
That's true.
I went to Germany, absolutely loved it, but I stayed on the countryside of Germany. Okay. And I mean, even Vegas, I love Vegas, and I know we were like, I don't gamble, but I love it. I think it's because I go with my friends, and especially when there's cup holders in the bathroom to hold your drink while you're shopping.
I love it.
But I do enjoy Jamaica. I've been to Jamaica twice. Absolutely love the people, love the food. I think I just love overall the vibe. People are just, on a whole other level. Everybody's chill. Everybody's happy. And I went not too long ago. I went to Dominican again, and again went into town. And I'm a small girl walking into town, and I wasn't scared at all. Everybody was very, very nice, even though nobody spoke English. Felt welcome. I just used my phone and did some translate. They understood. It was great.
Awesome.
But again, it's all about like before I go, like it's who I'm with. And I'm very outdoorsy. I love activities, riding motorcycles, 4-wheelers, all that. And I love to get off the resort.
Yeah.
For me, it's not so much traveling if you're on a resort.
I agree.
No offense to resorts, I love them, but
No. Yeah, I
all
get it.
the same. It's just like when you're saying, "Oh, I went to Dominican. I compare the resorts. They're all the same.
Yeah.
Just the amenities are slightly different." But it's when you get out and you have a taste of the real food and the
100%.
people and the music, the vibe. That's what I love.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, no, I couldn't. It's funny because when Bam and I went to Cuba for the first time, you know,
Amazing.
we're off the resort. The hotel was just for us to sleep in, literally, right? And we were sent to like some of these small restaurants. Like I'm talking about like in a back alley. It looked like in the back of a house. And I remember Bam eating the food there, and the first thing out of his mouth is like, people say Cuban food is garbage. It's fucking bullshit. It's amazing. But it's because it's so bland on the resort. But off that resort, some of the best pizza I've ever had in my life was actually outside of Cuba. And like outside the resort in Cuba. It's incredible.
You know why it's bland in the hotels? They have to. They have to do it because they have to accommodate. You would think
Everybody.
that, right, traveling to these places, like people think, oh, you know, and I get this all the time. Oh, Jamaica, Aruba, they're all the same, and they're not actually. There's a lot of
I get it.
in all these
There's a
countries.
lot of diversity in the food.
A lot, and there's a misconception there. But if
Yeah.
you look at their hotels, the foods for sure, 100%, they're staple items that you would a lot of the times get at home, or even if it is authentic food, they Americanize or Canadianize a lot of the foods, so they're bland. You need to leave the resort to really truly get that experience. So I agree. I would agree with you.
Hold on, we got a question here. Antoine's asking, do you ladies also have a travel page? I know I added Nina's Instagram page on the descriptions in the YouTube videos. So guys, if you want to follow her, check out the descriptions. Her link is there. So
It has one as well.
I just started mine. I have 2 Instagram, but I started my adventures, so I'll share it later.
you
but-
send it to me and I'll re-add it in the description after this. We'll
Okay,
take care of that.
check it out. Yeah, so you know, your most favorite and your least favorite place in trips. Which one would it?
Least favorite.
And I was thinking, like, because I had a feeling you were going to ask that. Like, I know I wouldn't say I have a least favorite, and it goes back to what Emily was saying. Like, you know, a lot of it has to do with the people you're traveling with. So if I'm thinking of a negative experience,
Yeah.
it's because of the person I
Least,
was
can we
traveling.
switch to question like least favorite person to travel with?
Ooh,
I mean, it
don't
has
do that.
everything to do with the person I was traveling with, not so much like the destination.
I can see that. We've
Yeah.
had that issue last time.
Yeah, and I don't think I've ever had anything like, you know, I say that now, but knock on wood, anything bad happened to me. But I will say, I remember when I traveled to Italy for the first time, and this was a lesson learned. So this is like a travel tip for everybody. When I traveled, and when I got to Italy, I was staying there for 3 weeks, and only one suitcase arrived. And of course, the suitcase that arrived was the suitcase with all of my shoes and accessories.
Oh.
That was it.
So
And that was the suitcase that stayed with me for the whole 3 weeks I was there. I never got my suitcase with all of my clothes. So
Wow.
what did I learn from that? Like, make sure you pack all of your essentials in your carry-on, at least a few outfits. Like, you know, I learned quick like how to roll things and how to like condense things in my carry-on bag, because these things do happen. You don't want to get stuck when you're traveling.
Yeah.
But
And-
that was a bad experience for me.
Okay. A side question: how do you determine how long of a trip you want to take?
Well, I mean, I don't like. I'm just using Vegas. Vegas is not. Hey, let's go for 2 weeks.
yeah.
If your
I'd
liver
die.
and everything can survive, wow, all power to you.
Yeah.
I think when you go to Europe, you can't do it in a week.
That's right.
You need to plan and travel. It's not like, hey, you want to go to Europe tomorrow? Of course, if we had our
Well,
own
yeah.
personal jet and we had the money for it, sure.
Yeah.
But I think
Okay.
if you want to take the time and explore, and you went 3 weeks in Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went
That
to
makes
Italy
sense.
14 days, and that was fast. I think I
Fast,
didn't get to explore everything, but I was there for a wedding and I was decorating. But I really wanted to take the time to go out, but it was too short of a travel.
Trip.
I
Okay.
think, and it also depends too on budget, right? So
Yes.
what's your budget? What do you really want to see? And what are you looking to get out of the trip? So I mean, planning is key.
See, that's my issue if I decide to go to Europe, because that's what me and Bam always talk about.
Yeah. Going to
I have no self-control.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that true, Bam?
None.
None. So I know I would budget for 3 weeks and spend my money in 3 days. Like I know, like I have to figure out some self-control because I don't. What?
I look at it as long as we got a place to lay our head and we paid for those places in advance.
Right.
Everything else, we can ride it out. You know what I mean? We can ride it out. We can
Did
ride
you
it
not
out.
see the bills in Halifax when I showed
Oh
up?
man, I
I have
know,
no
I
self,
know,
guys. I
I
have no
know,
self
I
control.
know,
I
I
don't know
know.
what happens. I'm
Okay,
very organized. I'm very like I'm good. I'm really responsible. And then when it's time to do something and go out or vacation, I'll out the window.
yeah.
You can always just pick up a job wherever you are, right? Worst comes.
I might have no choice.
You might go to like those ladies there. You might be a stripper or a prostitute.
Oh,
Yeah, those ladies
uh-oh.
at the bar. You can
I'd
work
be
in
like, God, send me to your leader. Send me to your leader. I need some help over here. I get that. Nina, I wanted. So you mentioned that you were. What is it, like? So you were gone to Mexico for 7 years. What was it? A travel agent slash. Like, did you live in Mexico? Tell me how that worked.
Yeah. So went to school, became a travel agent because I'm like, this is my thing. Like, I love traveling. I'm going to travel the world. And, obviously I was in for a surprise because it wasn't as glamorous being a travel agent as I thought it would be at the age of 20. I mean, all I did was sit behind a desk and book people's travels and hear about their travels. And it was kind of like, this isn't
Kill
fun.
me. I want to go.
I
Yeah.
want to go to these places, right? So my teacher actually from my school reached out to me and said, hey, I think this would be a really cool opportunity. Sunquest, this company that I don't, do you remember Sunquest?
Yes, I do actually.
Sunquest, Signature, all these companies. It kind of dates us a little bit, but anyways, this company,
No, it doesn't.
that was hiring, and so I applied, and I got hired. It wasn't like that quick. I got hired, and I went through the whole interview process. And when she came to give me the answer, they ended up hiring someone locally, so they couldn't offer me the job. And I had reached out, and I just wanted to say, hey, you know what? Because I couldn't get it out of my mind. I'm like, I want this job. I want to work as a destination rep. This is what I'm meant to do. Like, I want to go. I want to greet people. I want to greet Canadians. I want to see, and I want to live in a different country. I wanted to experience that. So I reached out and I said, if anything changes, like, please just let me know. It's fine. And she said, oh my God, it's crazy that you're reaching out because things didn't work out and I have a job to offer you.
What?
And it was to Cancun, to work in Cancun. And I was like, as if, because a few years before that, I was sitting on the beach, crying because I wanted to stay behind. And then,
I don't have stories like this, bro.
We so tired. We just want to get away. We got to get away from this place because we know it's gonna be a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she gets the job. Like, are you now that reality's sitting in and you get this job and you're technically moving down there? There's got to be some sort of nervousness or
for sure.
You know
it's
what
for
I mean?
Sure. So so I come from an Italian household, right? So imagine telling my parents, like, hey, by the way, I got this job and I'm moving to Mexico. My mother's like thinking, yeah, is this like legit? Right.
Yeah.
And
Things
weren't like the way they are now, but we didn't have access to internet. There weren't reviews.
So
Nobody
true.
I knew ever did this, like, is this like actually real? Like, it's for real, Mom. Like, they're gonna provide me with an apartment, they're paying for my travel. Like, this is for real. Like, I got this job, like, it's happening. So they drive me to the airport. I'm for sure nervous and excited at the same time. And I get to the airport and I start crying because I was so nervous.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I not like boo-hoo crying, but kind of like, do I do this? Like, what am I, like, I'm scared.
Yeah, it's a big change. It's huge. Yeah.
And my mother said, you don't have to do this. And the minute she said that, I'm like, yeah, I am doing this. Bye. You can't tell me no. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. And
damn, the psychology didn't work.
I mustered up the courage and I did it.
There you go.
And I remember her saying to me, as soon as you get there, call me. I want you to call me as soon as you land.
Mm-hmm.
So just to give you a little backstory about my mother, she, like, even growing up, if ever I went or left the house, we didn't have cell phones back then, right? So I'd always have to find a payphone and I would have to call her every 30 minutes.
Sorry.
I had
quarter.
prepaid phone card. I had no excuse. I had to call.
Where's Nina? She's at the payphone again.
Yeah.
30 minutes or I wouldn't be allowed. So anyways, so when she said to me, as soon as you get there, you make sure you call me. So, okay, I know for sure I had to call her.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't the case because when I landed and I got picked up and the person who picked me up was like, let's do a bit of a tour. And if even before that, if you've ever been at the airport in Cancun, it's crazy because there's timeshares everywhere, right? And they kind of trick you into so I was bombarded by everything, get into into the car with my colleague, you know, and he's giving me a tour, and I get to the office finally. 2 hours goes by. I have not called my mom. Get there. And I'm talking to my new manager, and then the phone call rings. He tells me it's Canada calling.
No.
And yeah,
Your mom found you.
my mother tracked me down. My mother tracked me down.
Oh my
But
God.
now you know. Now you know.
Comes from a place of love, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Now you know how long your mom reaches. Now you know.
Right?
All right.
Exactly, absolutely. But you know, all this to say is that it was an incredible experience. It was scary for sure. I wasn't a fan of it in the beginning because when you're traveling to any destination, it's completely different when you're traveling as a tourist versus when you're moving to
Yeah.
a country, right? It was a major culture shock right from the beginning.
Wow.
I wasn't living in the hotel in the touristy areas. I was living in an area where nobody spoke English. And even though it was Spanish and I spoke French, there was still a language barrier. I was very naive about things. And then I realized, okay, I either adapt, you know, or I go back home. And so I have a choice. You always have choices. And it was, I want this. It's going to be hard. But you're going to have to, you know, not fight, but work for what you want. And as soon as I changed that mindset, it was the most incredible experience of my life.
Good for you.
The most incredible experience of my life.
Because it takes balls to make that move. You know what I mean? So the fact that you even wanting to do it and then did it.
Yeah.
And then you didn't just do it for a week. You did it for a long time.
I did it for a long time. Yeah, I did it for a very long
So
time.
how's your Spanish?
It's good. Muy bien. Muy bien.
Yeah.
It was great. It was fun. Oh, you want to talk about crazy stories when you're the liaison between Canadian travelers and then, you know, the Mexican rules and laws that you see and have to deal with is.
I could imagine.
Oh yeah.
And Emily, you became a travel a stewardess or an airline
A flight attendant.
Why did the name changes? Does anyone know the back?
I don't know, but it's because we're more than just okay. Personally, I thought, you know, I'm just gonna get myself a second job.
Yeah.
Flight attendant, gonna wear a cute outfit. You know, you know, we're gonna walk cute with our stuff. Serve some coffee, some wine.
Yeah.
Actually, no. If that's all you think we're doing, then we're doing a fantastic job. We're actually way more than that. We have to be knowledgeable about not only the safety, but the plane. We need to know everything that's going on with the plane, the noises, like the propellers. We need to have our eyes open at all times. And I'm like, really?
That's funny you say that. Because when I freak out, I look at one of you girls working there to see if you guys are going to freak out. I'm like, she's staying calm. She's staying calm. All right, I think everything's okay.
Right? And people do that. People are always, because I sit in the back, because there's, I don't know if people do know that, but there's obviously 2 flight attendants in the type of plane that I fly in.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the purser who's a little bit higher than me. And she sits in the front and I sit in the back. Most people will look at her, but it's when people look back and they're checking at me, and I'm just like, it's all good, guys. But with the mask, it's hard, right? People don't.
Oh, no, I'll look into your eyes. I'm going to figure out that if they light up or not. I
better get some Botox.
I'm like, this got poker face over here.
Yeah, poker face at all times. So definitely it's more than that. And we have to be ready at any given time of turbulence. And, you know, when you see that seatbelt on, people are like, I don't need that. Well, the other day, we, slight turbulence. And then the seatbelt, come on. But you can tell people are just like, I'm too cool for a seatbelt. And we just remind them, we walk down the aisle and we put it on. And then it went off. And then and then we're doing our thing in the back, cleaning the glasses because we serve in glasses. And then all of a sudden, a little bit of turbulence. Like, okay, that didn't feel so right. But we didn't get a call from the pilot.
Yeah.
Okay, so we just we just took it upon ourselves to go and start cleaning things up really quickly. And then then it went on. So she went in the front. While she was walking towards the front, she didn't make it. We went in the air, and I had enough time to sit in the back with one of the passengers. And thank God the belt was, whoever was sitting there was a little bit larger than me.
Yeah, so you can snap it right on.
Yeah, because I went in the air, and in the air, I was able to snap it to stop. Everybody was holding beer and wine in the back, and it was just like in the movies. Mm-hmm. Slow-mo, red wine, beer. The 2 gentlemen in front of me are laughing, but yet everybody's just they're trying to look for us, and they're looking at our faces. And
Oh yeah.
And I just like I was so shocked
Straight
myself.
face.
And then I started laughing, and then the guy beside me is like, "Okay, I was looking at you. You're fine." I'm like, "I'm fine." I'm like, "How do you need a napkin when everything stops?" But it was the first time hitting 0 G's. We're just like, and everything. So when we say put your seatbelt on, it's not just
Put
for
'em
fun.
on.
There's an actual reason for that.
I'm the lazy dude. Once it comes on, I don't take it off until I have to go to the bathroom. And even then, me and Bam, we don't fit in these bathrooms very well. So I try not to even use these fucking things. Like, okay, this is a true story. So the first time I'm trying to go to the bathroom, Bam, I don't think you were with us. Yeah, with you.
I'm literally bent back like this because I'm 6'4". You know.
Okay.
So I walk into the front, right, to go to the bathroom, and I see people using the bathroom, but I didn't see where, and I didn't notice the door is very thin, right? So I'm like asking me, I'm like, "Yo, where's the bathroom?" And they're like, "That door," and I'm thinking it's some sort of closet. I'm like, I'm not opening up random fucking doors on this airplane. So I'm like, screw this. So I go back and sit down. I don't use the bathroom, right? So we get off the plane, we go to the resort, and there's this lady there with her daughter, and she's like, "Mom, is that the guy that couldn't find the bathroom?" And I was like, And then I used it that one time, and I felt like, I was like, who uses these things, you know? Like, and you were behind me, Bam. You were actually behind me, and I was like, he's taller than me. I'm like, there's no way he fits in this freaking thing, you know? It's crazy.
Terrible.
Yeah, I don't know how people fit because I'm 5 feet tall with heels 5'2", and I go in and I just like, you know, I'm not wearing white.
It's comfortable.
Comfortable feels like a coffin. You go in, and you're like, this is where I'm going to die. But you know.
It is crazy. So how long you been doing this, Emily? How long you been at this job?
About 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've traveled quite a bit, and
Yeah, but it's got to be different sitting down now. But now you have to take care of these people. And have you had any situations where some Momo doesn't want to wear their masks?
Yes.
How do you deal with that?
I put my mask and like, put your fucking mask on. Thank
hear.
you.
That's what I want to hear.
No, honestly, people have been really good. It's mostly when we travel to the States coming back because the rules are a little bit different.
Okay.
But you know what? I am not the flight attendant that's very, very aggressive. I'm more of the one that I won't make a spectacle. I'll just point. And people are like, okay. It's mostly people's headphones that we have issues with. Not so much to mask.
Really?
When it's the demo, I know everybody's annoyed with the demo. We got to do it every time.
Yeah.
It's mandatory, and you need to listen because you're the one who's not listening is the first one who's going to panic if something happens.
Yeah.
What do you feel about the headphones?
Now, is it fair to say that when you guys put me in the emergency exit seats, that I'm not letting everyone go first? Is that fair to say? I'm getting out of the plane first. Don't give me that responsibility and that fear. I'm not opening up the door to wait for 300 people to come by me.
Selfish.
Then you have the right to say no, and we can change you from your seat. If you don't want that responsibility, we'll
I'm just gonna take the gamble that we're not gonna crash. And first of all, let's be real. These charts with when we land in the water, these charts are not very real. I just, because I see them in front of me. They've kind of, I'm just like, come on, it's not gonna just start floating and stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying the emergency door. Shut up. First of all, I'm too big. How am I supposed to? Everyone's gonna die. They're not gonna get by me anyways. So I'll have to get out first. What? I'm not the first person thinking about this. Everyone else is a liar that sits in those seats. I'm just saying.
So you're not paying attention to what they're saying.
Don't get me wrong. I'm strong enough to open this door regardless what way it opens. This thing's gonna open.
If you want to get out, you'll be opening the door.
Yeah.
And then you're going to jump out.
Show us how.
And then you're going to help people out.
That was my normal instinct. I thought it was like you got to let everyone else out first.
Because people are going to trample.
That was my argument. I was like,
however, let's say I'm sitting in the back and there is an emergency.
Yes.
And I will look at you. Let's say you're sitting at the last seat, and if we know that we're about to crash or something's happening, I will look at you and I'll say, I need help. And I'll say, in the event that I cannot operate my door, I will need you to take me out of my seat, buckle me in you, and you're going to have to take my position. So
I see.
You have the right to say no.
I get that.
And you're not going to shoot, obviously, the people who are obviously has a visible disability, or
Yes, of course.
or a woman that's with child, you're not going to be operating the door.
I
But
don't know. I don't know about that.
we would hope that you could help us.
A woman with a child is stronger than a man who's pumping iron. I can tell you that now. She's gonna make sure that child get out of there. You know what I mean?
But obviously, if we have a mom to be, not that we can never tell if it's a mom to be.
Of course.
But, obviously, in this moment, sometimes it takes judgment. But yeah, we would need somebody like you. But we are trained to do it. But in the event that something happens, I knock my head and I'm out.
Yes.
All of a sudden, nobody can operate the door. So
my understanding, I sat in the seat once. It was like, you got to open the door and let everyone over. I'm like, how the fuck am I not going to be in everyone's way? This is what's going through my mind.
You're not, because we will teach you, but don't worry, fine is pretty safe. But
that's what I'm banking on. I'm like, I think we're good. I hope so. Like,
well, you'll be just fine.
And I paid an extra $100 to get that seat with all this responsibility. And I was like, come on, give me a discount over here. You know what I mean? So,
well, think about me. I gotta stay in the plane until everybody's out, and then on top of it, when everybody's out, I still have to go through the plane, check, make sure there's nobody left, and then I get out. So.
Okay, I got one more question. What's with the food, man? It's
I only have drinks on my plane. Just saying.
What food? There's food.
There's no food.
Oh, no food.
We got the alcohol.
Okay, alcohol's good, but the food is horrible, man.
Yeah.
It's
there's a picture somewhere. I have a picture of a pizza somewhere from Sunwing.
It's transport. It's a transport. It's not a restaurant on real.
It used to be good. Like I remember when they used to have decent food way back in the day. But
I just want to know, but it's Kate. You're right. It's transports food. I get it. You don't expect a fucking gourmet chef back there cooking up. Chef Ramsay's not gonna pop out. I get that. But the goddamn price looks like he is making my fucking pizza anyways, though. I'm like, I've never. Did you know, of all the times of traveling, I've never looked at my receipt. I'm always like, chuck it out, because I don't want to ruin my vacation with paying for stuff.
Yeah.
You want your receipt? I'm like, no. I've never looked at the bill when I got home. I don't ever want to know. I just want to go home, pay for my shit once I'm done, and deal with it.
And move on.
But have you guys traveled during, or let's say, like, since this pandemic restrictions have been over? Have you guys? You said you've been to Dominican. How was Dominican lately? Was it still the same? Same?
Oh, and for me.
See, Bam and I went to Cuba in April, and it fucking was devastating.
I went to Mexico during, it was last August. So and it was at 50% capacity. Things slowed down for sure. Everything was, none of the a la carte restaurants were open.
Okay.
It was just buffet. They were serving the buffet with their phones. Like it was like small changes. A lot of the bars were closed. They were trying to restrict access to certain areas. But personally, I felt like they weren't as, their guidelines were a lot more relaxed than how things were here. So we didn't really have to wear our masks, although when we were at home, we had to, right? Like, so things seemed a little bit more, I don't know, in my opinion, more relaxed than they did here during COVID. And I think it's kind of like, it was like that in different parts of the world, as we know.
The restrictions wasn't horrible for us. You know, there's times where we were the furthest point from the buffet, for instance, right? So when we get to the buffet, I'm like, fuck, I forgot my mask. The lady, big ass, sit down, right? They were great. I just found it like the whole country. Well, I can't say the whole country. Where we were in Veradero was extremely different. Like I've never. This was my third time there. I was never asked to buy cocaine or weed or something on a corner of Veradero in my life. You know what I mean? It was really, really strange. And any girl you talk to that was from Cuba, about 10 minutes into the conversation, the next words out of her mouth is $60 Canadian, because they've all turned into prostitutes over there. Like, it was, the country's really taking a hit, and now they're doing whatever it takes to make some money. Like, it was a huge change. Our resort was what? They were giving us like one bottle of water for the week.
Yeah, even with the food and all the stuff that they get in, it wasn't abundant like it was before. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everything was there. You get extra sodas, extra this. No, it wasn't there. It was just like, man, this is. And
we had friends at a few other resorts that were there the same week, and they were complaining big time. Like, they were out of beer every second day. You know what I mean? No red wine.
The cost, though, was almost half the price. So we weren't paying full price like what.
We did. Right? We paid full price.
You did?
Yeah.
We got crazy deals. We went to Mexico, Dominican.
That makes sense.
We traveled to Canada so many times. Like, the flights were super cheap. The prices have gone up recently, But during COVID, when we were allowed to travel, I think I went to Vancouver too in October, and it was cost $200 one way just to fly to Vancouver, and this was with WestJet.
Wow.
So, I mean, to travel during the pandemic when we were allowed to, when they were lifting some of the restrictions, the cost of travel wasn't as expensive. People just weren't as willing or, I guess, courageous enough to take that chance to travel. At least that was just my perception.
Absolutely.
And those that weren't as, you know, or who were vaccinated or not as worried, just needed to get away, and they're like, I'm out of here, right? Let's just take a chance.
Oh, that was my. I took the vaccinations. I always tell this on the podcast. I was being selfish about it. It was for me to travel. It had nothing to do with not to be a jerk, to be like, oh, you're gonna save others and not be sick in the hospital. I was like, no, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Like, oh, you need a third. I was just like, let's go. Let's wrap this shit up. You know what I mean? You know, that's the reason why I got vaccinated. But Nina, I saw a post that you posted on Instagram about the banana boat sunscreen. Now, it's funny that you said that, because I'm not lying to you. About a week, I've been saying this for years, but about 3 or 4 days before you posted that, I was having an argument about people, because we were out in Outer Lake, Quebec, and they're like, you're going to put some sunscreen on? And I said, no. Either I'm going to get a little bit of sun, or I'm going to go in the shade. And they're like, oh, you're going to get...
I'm sorry. I'm just going to turn and sit here and be quiet, because I know none of this stuff here. I know nothing about sunscreen. I don't need it. I don't care.
You're the shade man. I know. I get that.
I stay in the shade, and I don't deal with it. You know?
So the thing is, I always said, hey, there's no fucking way that this chemical that's going to be sprayed on my body is going to prevent this goddamn huge fireball from giving me a tan or burn. Like this, there's got to be something wrong with this stuff. The older I got, I was like, I don't really want to put this shit on me. And then all of a sudden, I saw that article. Then you posted it about some of the chemicals in there is giving people cancer. Now, like, how are they like getting away? Or what's your opinion on this? Like, obviously, some of the shit in there has got to be toxic. Like, it's got to be.
You got to wonder, like, is it like the lesser of two evils? Like, okay, the sun is dangerous, but then at what point is it safe to put, like you're saying, all these chemicals on top of your skin to sweat? To get another form of cancer.
And your pores are opening up because we're just baking in the sun, right? So like, sleep in, please.
And this is where my problem lies. I don't understand the thought process of wanting to just sit there and bake like a turkey. What is the problem? No.
You do know there's some vitamins in the sun, eh?
Yeah. You get them when you walk You get them when you walk from your house to the store, and here and there you get it there. But you deliberately sitting there for 2 hours just baking.
That's all you need. 15 minutes that go through your face and your eyes without any sunscreen, because you need that vitamin D. And then especially I'm a redhead, so we're very deficient in vitamin D. So I don't need to bake for hours. I take my 15 minutes and then I'm out. But I don't personally wear sunscreen. I'll wear a little bit of HPV. Wrong podcast.
Next episode, guys.
So but other than that, I just don't stay in the sun. Like, I'm active, I'm always outside, but even my children, I know a lot of parents might be mad about this, but we just don't stay in the sun that long, or we just wear protective clothing outside. And I feel good, I feel great. We don't have sunburn. I might change a little bit of color, but that's just
just to stay in there long enough. I get that. Go ahead, Nina.
The opposite. Sorry, no, I'm a sun worshiper. Like, wherever I go, like, I will burn. And I know I probably should. There are safer sunscreens.
What do you recommend as a safer sunscreen?
Arbonne. So I do. Arbonne has really safe products for sunscreen, and they're no chemicals. They're B Corp certified. So this company it's a company I also work for. We really worry about the planet and people and people's
Fair enough.
So you can even they're legible ingredients, so you actually understand what's on it. No surprises.
You can pronounce some of the words, probably. Yeah,
absolutely. And they're actually on the list of safe products to use. So if you're looking for a safe sunscreen, for sure, Arbonne.
There's some choices out there for sure. Yeah, but don't just. It's just because it's easy. You go at the store, you go to whatever pharmacy, and they're all there. And it's all the chemicals, and it's like, oh, okay. It has a little kid on it. It has a little kid with. But it looks safe, and you just
sold. Yeah, exactly.
It's good for kids.
It's marketing, right? And I think we're just trusting. We just trust. If you're selling it, and I'm going to a store that I trust, you think, I'm gonna buy it. Like
100%. You're 100% right. If it's on a shelf at a big brand store,
Yeah.
they obviously think you're putting the trust in this store, saying, "Hey, it's on their shelves. It's got to be okay to be putting it on us and our kids." I totally agree with that.
Yeah,
I
but-
feel the same way with like fucking bug spray. You know what I mean? Like, I put that shit on. If you,
don't get me started with bug spray because I don't understand why they attack me. Like I posted something in my story not too long ago. I'm like, what is it? Is it because I'm low in iron and B12? Someone the other day told me it's because of my blood type. Like I just want to know what it is so I can figure it out.
It's all sorts of things with them. You know, it's I think it's because I'm darker, and they want to eat me alive as well. Because you know, I'm right by the ocean. I got
well,
mosquitoes.
Bam was the
everywhere,
first
right?
person out of our whole group to be attacked by sand fleas,
Oh my god!
and
Really?
we thought he was fucking lying. He was the only one getting demolished. And then the next year and then he got mad at me. He's like, "See, he called me a liar. You know, you were on me for 7 days."
And then they're looking at me like I'm crazy because I'm using bug spray. on my feet,
100%,
right?
I look like he was nuts. 100%.
Yeah.
He only put him on his legs. I was like, "What is this guy doing?" Like, so that was a whole nother situation with that. I was like, but I can't stand putting that stuff on. I
I
just
know.
anything that's like, for me, it's like you're putting a chemical to prevent yourself from tanning or burning, and then you're putting a chemical. If these bugs don't want to touch you after putting this type of chemical on, you know that shit's nasty, right? So, but guys, if you want to keep away from bugs, make sure Nina's around. The bugs will come get you, and we're good to go, right?
Yeah. I will help you. I will deter them from you. And so bring me along.
Now, guys,
know.
with all this traveling, Bam included you. Like, do you guys have any outrageous or funny stories that you've witnessed or been a part of?
Well, I think for me recently, it's just seeing people how they pack. Like people bring in all sorts and they're trying to find ways to bring more luggages. And I'm like, you're not even going to do all that. And it's the struggle that they have when they're putting their stuff, they're walking across the airport. They have this cushion, this pillow, this teddy bear, this extra jacket, this extra luggage. And I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
put this all. And then they look at me in the back and they're like, well, it doesn't fit. And I'm like,
No shit.
requirements in your luggage that you can bring in your carry-on, but people stuff their bag and then they oh well, I'll just wear this sweater. I'll just wear this sweater. And I'm like,
Yep.
okay. I want to challenge anybody because I pack a lot. I do, but it fits in my luggage. It just once you get home, look at your luggage. What did you wear and what did you not wear? You always keep that outfit. Oh, like when I go travel, I'll be wearing that. No, you won't. You'll be wearing a bikini. Calm down, Karen. You're gonna be wearing your bikini in the same. You know, you just need a couple outfits.
Yeah.
And usually go
I'm
shopping.
guilty. I'm guilty.
You're
I
guilty for that?
just overpack, and I always pack things that still have their tags on that I've never tried. That's been in my closet for years, and I'm like, I'm gonna wear it on this trip, and I still don't end up wearing it, but I still pack it anyway. You know?
Bam, how many shoes you pack?
I pack. I got a different pair of shoes for every day.
See?
I got a shoe problem, right? You know what I mean? So it's a fashion show for me. You know, it's like okay, today it's sunny. Ooh, I got to put on the all white ones. You know what I mean? Oh, it's gonna rain. Put on some black and white ones. Every day is a different thing, and sometimes I don't even get to wear them because I'm wearing my flip flops all the time. Right. So,
and it depends on your mood. It depends on your mood. It depends on the weather. It depends on there's so many different factors.
I have a funny story. I went with my girls this is 10 years ago for my 30th birthday. I'm like, let's go, girls. Let's go on a trip. Yeah. So we all packed like girls. And then we got to drink and shop, which is obviously something that I truly enjoy. When you wake up, you're like, oh my God, I bought what? I bought this, I bought that. I'm like,
Spend how
oh.
much money?
But then I didn't have room in my luggage.
Uh-oh.
So when the girls weren't looking and were packing to leave, I secretly opened all their luggage.
Uh-oh.
And I stuffed all my stuff in all their luggages. And then everybody's like, my God, why is it so heavy? Like I said, I spent a couple thousands of dollars. I'm not kidding. It was my birthday. And
Fair enough.
I could not, and we all already brought so many shoes and stuff. So I didn't say anything. We left. We went through the airport. Everything was fine.
Mm-hmm.
We landed in Ottawa. And then the girls were like, why? Like, what's up with my luggage? And then I'm like, ladies, where the carousel, I'm like, please open your luggage. And like, what are you talking about? Like, I put some stuff. They're like, what the hell did you put in there? They opened. It's all my stuff. I'm like, thank you.
Oh, my. You got to do what you got to do when you're traveling. It's true. I try not to bring a carry-on. Because I don't know if it's my face, but I'm the one that gets searched every time I get to the.
Me too.
Oh, that's
I know.
embarrassing.
I don't know why.
But I got used to it, so it's like now it's like Like it's absolutely nothing. I have nothing on me. Like I have like the least amount of clothing on me. I have nothing in my pockets. I don't have it. So when they search me, it's like 2 seconds. Now they're like, well, he clearly has nothing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
But I was for
to the club.
you know what club? I dragged you in to one of our. One time I was getting searched and because I was talking to him, they brought him in too. You know what I mean? At first I was getting offended, and then I just started getting used to it. I was just, whatever, let's do the routine. You know what I mean?
There you go.
It's like you're getting randomly searched. I'm like, again, it's so random now. Yeah. I'm like, if this was the lottery, I'd be a millionaire. So random.
So,
but
No,
ladies,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I don't know what it is about security that just like that whole process stresses me out. Like I'm already like when I don't know if it's anyone else, like when you're standing, you're like the process, and they're so intense about things too. Like, go here, stand.
yeah, but they're fucking over
No,
there. Like, stop doing it. Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay. Like
It's just because they want things to go fast.
but it's like it's their delivery. They're
I
so
know.
intense that it's people make more mistakes sometimes just by the way they're doing that. It's
because
just,
they want to show that they're tough, and then in case then they'll notice who is acting
Well-
a little different.
well, I crack all the time and I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm like, you're making me nervous.
You're gonna
Just-
get
Yeah.
that bend over. Oops, wrong podcast again.
No,
Sorry.
it's true though. It's true. I get kind of nervous too. One time they're like, they kept wanting me. They're like, do you have metal in your shoulder? And I was like, no. And I'm like, I don't even have a scar. I got nothing. Like I had nothing on. I was like, I don't. The guy just kept flipping me around and wanting me again. I'm like, what's next though? But you're right. The glove could have came out, just for fun. But he didn't do that though. That's what I'd be like, fuck it, wrap it up, send me back home. I don't want to do this.
right, forget it. I'm out.
Bam, you had a question or what?
Yeah, I was going to ask the ladies to tell the people, give us some tips and things to look out for while you out there, on
Traveling
travel.
tips.
Yeah.
You talked about packing well. That's definitely a tip.
I'm gonna.
What's the UK? You guys travel a lot. What's the number one mistake that people do that they shouldn't do?
I was gonna say not traveling with travel insurance.
True. Fair enough.
Yeah. Like, and I know for most people, like they think it's a waste of money, but paying that extra $50-$60.
Yeah.
The medical insurance when you're traveling, God forbid anything happens. And I have traveled with people who have actually gotten hurt or
We have too.
right. And without that insurance, it's like you're paying out of pocket, and
But
So-
in this case, they paid. Yeah, you're right. They paid. But the misconception of traveling insurance is you still have to pay up front.
some, not all.
Oh,
There are-
okay. Because I know in this case, Ivan had to pay up front.
Yeah.
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 Fucked up his shoulder playing ping pong.
Yeah, and you're right. And then they'll reimburse you, and they
Yes.
don't give you a hard time. But there are some companies that will pay in advance, so it's worry free, completely worry free.
What else? What else you got?
That is a good common mistake because people will say, nah, I don't want to pay for that.
What
Now
other
some
tips?
people have insurance through their credit card, don't they? When they book trips.
They do, but it's always read the fine print because it's not everything is.
Makes sense. Makes
yeah.
sense.
Read the fine print.
I always get worried about the luggage situation. That's why I think the insurance can come
Yeah.
in. If you can get that one that can cover your luggage and give you X amount of money back, because obviously there's a luggage situation going on with flying, especially with Air Canada, right? So get that luggage insurance though.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, because the thing is I know on your Instagram you're giving out a few tips about certain things about traveling, and I thought that's great because even if we've traveled about a couple times, there's probably still some stuff we should still learn or do or change, and there's obviously a lot of new travelers that don't know a goddamn thing.
No.
Yeah. Packing is huge, and when it comes to packing, like we're just talking about security, for example, is making sure you don't have certain things and you could with like knives, for example, like making sure when you're passing through security, even just a pocket knife, for example, you're not thinking anything of it. You cannot travel with a pocket knife, or you cannot travel with batteries inside of your carry-on. You cannot there are certain things that are you're just what it is. They're not going to make a big deal about it, but you're just taking up so much of your own time. Right?
Yes.
You're already running late and you're in a hurry and you're wondering why it's taking so long to get through security, for example. Well, it's because you're delaying the process. It's self-inflicted, really.
That's right.
Right?
Because I travel with a pocket knife all the time, and it's under 6 inch, which is kind of funny if you think about it. Because pocket knife,
yeah.
you can still hurt someone, but
Of course.
but it does stop. So now I just took it off, and I just don't want to go through the process of
Well, the
stopping.
craziest thing that Bam and I witnessed is we made friends with our friend Andre from Russia. He said hi on. He's watching the podcast right now. He he started showing me that he has a belt buckle with a knife on it, and he was cutting up his fruits or whatever. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then he's like, yeah. I'm like, were you allowed on the plane with us? And he was like, he looked at me like I was crazy. And he said, yeah, I'm allowed on the plane with us. And then later on, our last night together, he busted out fireworks that he packed with his luggage. And we lit them up on the Dominican and put the candle on the beach.
How was that even possible?
The best part about this is he brought it last time, but he said he didn't use them because they were too windy. So twice he's managed to bring these fucking fireworks through. And then he starts lighting up these firecrackers. Russian firecrackers sound like there's a war going on. It is the scariest noise I've ever heard. And security's walking. I'm like, oh my God, we're all going to get kicked out. This is over. It's about midnight. This resort's quiet, and you hear it's crazy, right? The security guard comes, and what does he do? He takes a video, and he enjoys the moment with us.
That's so cool.
He didn't even care. He was like, this is so great.
That's cool.
And yeah, so I couldn't believe. So not only that he brought it once and he used it, he actually brought it the time before and just said, oh yeah, it was too windy. I didn't want to.
And then had the nerve to break out the vodka and food that he bought. And food that he bought from Mother Russia. He bought food for us.
Yeah, he gave us the Russian. You had to like take a shot and eat some food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know why now that this stuff's hot. Like it wasn't burning, but like steam was coming out of my head. Like this was like the warmest vodka in history. I was like, God damn. So at one point I just took off my shirt and he's like, oh, I was gonna do that too, but I didn't want to be crazy. I'm like, I have no choice. I'm dying. I am melting with this vodka here. It was friggin' bananas though. But that's the cool thing I love about traveling. It is actually meeting people from all over. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I love it.
It is. Well, I think it's totally different for everybody, but it's that escape, experiencing something new, meeting new people. It's so hard to explain unless you do it.
Yes.
Getting away,
Well, what's great about vacationing is everyone's there for the same reason, right? It's to let go of the bullshit at home, enjoy your 7 days. You know what I mean? And everyone's so relaxed, and that's the mood. Don't get me wrong. We all come back home and get tensed up again. You know what I mean? But it's so great to see everyone on that level. Yeah. Bam one time relaxed a dude in the airport. Bam, you remember this one guy? He was there with his older mom and dad, and he had kids, and he was pissed off because the line was going too slow, and he made a big scene, so they let him go first. And then all of a sudden, when you get on your buses to go to your resort, he's on my fucking bus. And I'm like, oh no, this guy's not coming to my resort. And Bam puts his arm around him and says, buddy, I understand, things are frustrating, but we're here now. We're here.
Yeah.
And you know what? You saw the guy look at Bam and go, you're right. And he just calmed right down. Yeah. And the good thing is he wasn't coming to a resort. So then after that, I didn't give a shit. But I mean, we ended up seeing him 7 days later, and he was still thankful for Bam just to compute what's going on, buddy.
You need a reminder. You need a reminder sometimes. And don't you find sometimes it takes a day or two before you're fully relaxed? Like I for me anyways, it just
not me. Not me. No.
It takes. I'm like, I finally get into the groove of things. I get comfortable with the resort. I kind of find my own.
Resort-wise, my question for everyone is, because I just find coming out of Ottawa, you either leave at fucking 6 a.m. or 4 p.m. It's fucking weird. That's just what the flights are. Which one do you prefer, 6 a.m. or 4 p.m.?
Early.
The fuck's wrong? Why? I don't get it.
Because
you don't like to have some sleep before you go?
Let's sleep the night before, or just. Then you just go sleep on the beach, have a couple drinks, and
I want to get there. I want to get there ASAP.
Yeah, me too.
I love that 4 p.m. flight. I love waking up when I wake up. Yeah. I love having a beautiful lunch. I like strolling to the airport like an old man. I love that shit. This I gotta be up at 3, or I DJ'd the night before and I haven't slept, and then all of a sudden I hate that shit. I get there, just want to check in and put my bags away. Nah, your room ain't fucking ready. It drives me bananas. Those 6 a.m. flights get fuck right off. Sorry, I lose it every once in a while on a podcast. Bam understands this. But I can't stand that shit.
Now you know why they give you 2 options. Because
there is no 2 options. It's if you go to Cuba, it's 4, and if you go to Dominican, it's 6. That's the only options they give me. I hate that shit, man. I'm always like, I hate the morning. Bam, you like morning flights?
It doesn't matter, because when I'm that guy that's on the plane and go, can I have a beer? When I ask for that beer, that's it. Check that. Bang. That's it. That's all. Until I'm ready to come back home. 2 days before, I tend to slow down drinking.
Our funny adventure story that we could actually say on which one do you think I'm going to say?
I don't know, but go ahead.
There's some that we could all have drinks and talk about that one, but there's this one. It was the Cuba one, our first Cuba trip ever.
Jesus, fuck. Terrible.
You want to tell it?
No, go ahead. No,
Okay,
'cause
so
you know.
we land, and I was the one. I had the big SUV, right? So I was the one picking up all the friends. I'm that idiot, right? DJ'd the night before, picked up all my friends. Luggage is piled up on everybody. One guy's not ready. I'm furious. We get to the airport. I sit beside two Spanish people. This lady's beside me. She's little, but she's jacking up both armrests. I'm squished up against the fucking window seat. Like, I'm miserable. I could hear it. Bam and Julius having a good time in the front. They're sitting near each other. I'm like, this fucking.
He's on the far end. I'm by the aisle, and we got a guy in the middle of us that look like the actor John Lovitz.
Yes.
Okay, so he looks over at me and go, "Yo, Bam, you want a drink?" I go, "Sure." He starts ordering fucking cognacs and so on and so on. By the time we landed that plane, the dude in the middle was buying drinks. You understand? We pretty much drank out the plane, right? I'm hammered. This is my first time going to Cuba. Don't forget, people, I'm American, so I'm freaking the fuck out about
this is
going
right.
to Cuba.
This is right.
And he's being loud. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Go over there. I'm trying to sneak in the country. You know what I mean? Sure enough, I get up to the counter. The lady looks at me and points over there. So I had to walk out the line. He's yelling, they didn't want you in this fucking country anyway. Blah, blah, blah.
They don't know I'm with them. I'm so far back in the line, right? I didn't say that when you left. I said that when you came back and butted the line. I made sure I made everyone pissed off at you. They don't want you in here. You American, get out of here. And he's like, he just shakes his head walking, right?
So I get in. I'm happy. That's it. It's over. They fucked up and let me in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get some beers. Everybody get in. We start smashing drinks on the way to the fucking resort. We get there. We fucking hammered.
Oh, yeah.
Now you can tell them from that point on.
Well,
Like,
so
just keep that in mind.
There's a quite amount of beer that's drank within like the 40 minutes. Like it's over exaggeratedly done. All right. So we get there and then there's an issue. Bam is yelling at the bus driver, asking him where his bag is. There's only one bus. We couldn't have fucked this up. Like you put it in, it's got to be there, right? Yeah. So Bam and Ivan Ting are looking. There's no bags, but there's two bags there. So as drunk as I am, I'm like, bro, someone else must have taken your bags, like 2 for 2, right?
Yeah.
So we take them out. We see these two other French guys from Montreal. And Bam, instead of explaining to the guy that you got my bag, rips his own bag out of buddy's hands. And he's like, that's mine. He's like, this one's yours. So a fight almost breaks out in the lobby, right? Whatever. We check in. But when we check in, the little disco's actually in our actual like complex, right? So I said, yo, in a half hour, meet us here. And a half hour, we all get down there. And I don't know what I end up saying to the bartender, but I end up switching spots with him. So he's out dancing, and then Bam's looking for me, and he turns around, and I have the guy's little vest on that doesn't fit, and I'm serving drinks.
He's behind the bar serving drinks. Yeah,
It was like half on.
It's fucking tiny. It's the tiniest thing. It's
like small coat, little man. What's that?
Yes.
Tommy boy.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly
So
what it
I
was.
walk up to the bar. He's behind the bar serving drinks and got the tap and doing this.
It was a little.
Okay? We go get something to eat. It kicks in.
Oh, it kicks in.
All the liquor, everything kicks in. He puts his hand on the wall and go, leave me here. Leave me here. We got there at night. We don't know how to maneuver around this resort yet. We haven't seen it. So
It's pitch black. Yeah.
I remember the path. We going this way. You coming. I'm not leaving you here because in the morning I won't know where you at. Right? You know what I mean? So I'm dragging him back. The two friends run ahead because for some reason I find Asian people walk really fast.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. They're a lot
So
faster than
they
us.
pew, up. We get around and turn. They jumping out of bushes like ninjas and shit. Everybody face plants. Bang. I'm like, this is fucked up. Get him up. Got him to the hotel. Was like, he's your problem now. I went to my room. Okay. I get up in the morning to go get him. He's in the room with Ivan. You know, the twin beds. They're on opposite sides of the walls. It's barf all over the middle of the room. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't the best roommate that day. Yeah.
The shower head is broken. What the hell happened last night?
But I wasn't. That shower head wasn't my fault though. That was Julius saying trying to help me clean, and then somehow he broke the shower head, but doesn't tell me that. So when I take a shower that day, there's this little stream that's coming out, and I'm like, oh. And I'm like, how the hell do I get this soap off now? It was terrible.
We go to breakfast and people are coming up with their phones showing us pictures like, you remember this last night? I'm like, I don't remember shit. Who is this? Who is this person? Terrible. Terrible.
There's
a group of
collecting all the memories.
There's a
from
group of old ladies. I go, they walk by, like, hi boys, and we're like, oh no, oh no.
Night one. That's only night one.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
terrible.
that was night one in
See, those are
Cuba.
always good stories when drinking's involved, right?
Yeah, the night ones are usually the worst ones. I don't know, because the excitement's through the roof. You're
Totally.
just, you know what I mean. You're so happy, and everyone else is on the same page. And
Yeah.
we had some great night ones for sure. But don't get me wrong. I had to tell Ivan this will never happen again. I will not puke beside your bed. Actually, I didn't drink the next night just to prove it to him. I felt because I know deep down he didn't want to share a room with me to begin with, and then that happened. I knew he was like, fuck my life. I knew he was saying that deep down. He was a great guy. He didn't bitch about it. He's probably bitching about it right now, but at that time he didn't say much though.
Yeah.
But girls, so you guys traveled, you've been all over. Is there anywhere you would love to go you still haven't been yet? Anywhere?
Yeah, I want to go to Costa Rica. I want to go
Very
to the
nice.
rainforest for sure. I'm very outdoorsy, so I want to be in the woods. I want to be in the jungle with a machete. That's where I'm at. I love the beach, but I love that kind of.
Yeah, I go to Costa Rica, but you go in the jungle, have a good time.
I want to see those spiders and I want to see those
No,
butterflies. I'm in, like I love it. But I do love the beaches. I love.
If you and I go to the jungle, you're gonna see the suit that I'm gonna wear. It's gonna be fucking pathetic. It'll be like a space suit. None of these bugs are touching me. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'll be where you left me at, chilling. You know.
Nina, where would you want to go?
I've been wanting to go to Bali. I was supposed to go this year, but because
Yep.
of some of the restrictions with COVID, it's now booked for 2023.
So it's booked.
It's booked.
Greece.
Oh, Greece too. We want to go to
Greece looks dope.
Greece.
Okay, I'm in with the grease. I'm
Cut
down
it
for
out.
that. I'm in for Greece.
Let's book a big
Woo,
trip.
let's do it.
I'll twist my arm to go on a fucking trip. I'm always down. Greece is definitely a fucking beautiful spot. That's definitely a place I definitely would want to definitely check out. Yeah, Greece. Bam, you?
Me? Oh man, I just want to get over to Europe and bounce around and see the architecture and the buildings and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm an electrician by trade, so I want to see how they did what they did on these buildings, right? Because they're old. You're not supposed to be ruining anything. You know what I mean? Heritage type stuff. So I want to see that. So, and I want to get hammered everywhere. You know?
Bam, you didn't. You always mention Africa when we're drinking. You just.
Well, that's my last trip. I'm not coming back.
Oh, for real?
I'm going home. I'm not coming back. I'm done. That's it. I'm laying somewhere, and that's it. I'll
I
find
didn't
which country
know-
I belong to, but
I
it'll be a
didn't
while.
know that's what it took just to get rid of you, man. I didn't
Yep.
know.
Buy me a ticket.
But
I ain't ready to go.
Page right now. I'll set
I
that
ain't
shit
ready to
up.
go. I ain't ready to go yet.
God damn it! That's what it took to get rid of you. God
Yeah.
damn. That's what
I ain't ready to go. I ain't ready to go
I'm
yet.
telling you.
That's my
Greece,
last
yeah,
trip.
girls, keep us posted on Greece. I'm excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
I'm serious. Yeah, no, that's dope though.
We'll do a
And
nice
then-
podcast down there.
Yeah, we'll bring the whole podcast equipment and then we'll do the
That'd
whole
be
thing
so
out there.
fun.
It could be
Let's do
super
that.
fun. Yeah. I told you like I was a smartass and I tried to bring my drone to Cuba. That didn't work out very well. They took it. Oh yeah, they stopped me at the security. They're like, "You can't bring this in here," and I was like, "Okay." And the girl's like, "Give me your passport." I was like, "Whoa,
Whoa.
no, that's not happening." And then
Yeah,
security
yeah.
surrounded me, and the one guy explained it to me. He's like, "No, we're gonna keep your drone. We're gonna fill out some information. You just come back and get it." And I was like, "Oh, okay." But the way it looked like is like, you guys are going to jail. That's what it sounded like at the time. Like, give me your passport. I was like, that's not happening. But yeah, no, we have all the gear to do a podcast pretty much anywhere, battery powered. Yeah, we're definitely.
I'm going to Greece. She's coming to Greece as soon as I have a project in mind. Once the project is done, yay, we're going to Greece.
That sounds
Nice.
like fun. Girls,
Yeah.
thank you so much for taking your
Yes.
time.
For having us.
I love talking traveling. It's so much fun. It's been a blast. Like the thing is like, you know what I mean? We got to definitely do this again with more stories and adventures.
Well,
or-
definitely. We probably could do it in September when I come down. You know, we can all do it live in one room.
and everyone's
Yeah,
like,
that'd be awesome.
There's one thing I want to say really quickly is
Yes.
when you travel, don't be a dick. Be
Yeah.
nice to the people. It just hurts me so much when you go to resorts, you go somewhere and people are just having attitude towards these people. They're trying their best. There's always a language barrier. Just don't be an asshole. Be
I have to
kind.
explain to people. My parents at first they thought people were being rude, but I have to explain to them that people drive on the other side of the street. So
Yeah.
we're waiting when we do the lineups. We're kind of bumping into each other, not by it's they're looking at us like we're crazy, and we're looking at them like they're crazy. It's just the way it
Right.
is, you know. You're right. Language barriers, different systems. It's true.
You're in their home and just
Yeah.
respect and I just
I
see
agree.
so many
Mm-hmm.
disrespect in it. It just irks me.
I just don't. You know what? Of all our times traveling, Bam, we've only bumped into one asshole in Dominican.
Yeah, one.
a little
one.
kid.
Yeah,
Well,
one
and
asshole.
I would also say to add to that is the rules and laws don't just because you're Canadian, you're not protected under Canadian law when you travel outside of your country. So you need to respect people. So, you know, I know earlier you asked what kind of travel tip, and I would say that's probably the biggest takeaway for anyone who's listening.
Love that.
Is the laws don't apply. You're not protected under Canadian.
Love that. That's facts.
There you go. So
People always get it confused. They think they took back home to them. You know what I mean? And do you want me to tell you what really kills me? When I bump into someone, they're like, they don't speak English here. I'm like, dumb. You visited them. You know what I mean? You came here.
Don't assume. Absolutely. Not everyone's.
I'm the type of dude. If something happened, they did something real bad to me, and believe you me, I've traveled quite a bit to know wherever I go, I know their rules or whatever the case may be. I'll deal with it the way it comes at me. You know what I mean?
I'm going to tell you how you spot an
I know.
asshole.
I'm not going to be going, I'm presumed innocent until proven guilty. No. I beat his ass because I know I beat his ass. You know what I mean? If you're going to give me 6 months, give me 6 months. I'll do my time and come home. You know?
You know when you know there's an asshole, Bam? We've been to Be Live in Punta Cana
3 times. Yeah.
Okay. I'm talking about the service is through the roof. People have been great.
Phenomenal.
We've met people 2 years later that still remembered us. Like, it's great. It's probably one of the best places I went for service-wise. And you go there and you start reading reviews about worst service I've ever had. And the whole time I'm thinking, how big of a dickhead were you for them to say, fuck that, I don't want to serve these people or been around them. So sometimes it's like, you know what? Service is also based on your actions and how you treat others. That doesn't matter where you are around the world. Just because you went to Dominican and you think you paid for a trip, that you deserve to be served hand and foot.
They become entitled. Absolutely.
Exactly. And I start reading these reviews. I'm like, come on, you're so full of it. These were some of the nicest people I've ever met. Like 3 times in a row, like we never had an issue.
And don't get me wrong.
Not that it's mandatory, but if you're staying at an all-inclusive, tip. Honestly,
100%.
Leave something.
100%.
What's $1, $2 really? Just put that money aside. Leave something. It's not that they don't want to serve you. They're going to serve you whether you tip or not. But if you're not leaving anything, not smiling, being rude, we're human. They're human. Everyone, everyone can handle and take so much, right? They don't need that kind of abuse.
Exactly.
Yeah. And when you travel, just remember, you in their house.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're not in yours. You're in their house. So
you're
humble yourself.
You're the visitor. You're visiting them.
Humble yourself till you're in their house. That's all.
No, it's facts. But yes, it's awesome. Guys, thank you so much. I don't want to hold you girls up anymore. It's been a blast. Girls, let's keep us posted on Greece. Emily, send me your information so I can put it in the description so people can follow you too. All right, guys? Guys, thank you so much. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.